You can be charged with child abuse and show up to work at a school. I'm ashamed of them all. I'm glad you mentioned the politicians, because shame on them. No guts, cowardly. How you let that go is disgraceful. LaQuetta Small and her various allies, Palestina and them, are telling me they're going to do it. You cannot make failing to report child abuse, you cannot make that some kind of petty, disorderly nothing burger. 15 days plus, I think it's 16 days, LaQuetta Small shows up. Hey, look at me. I'm superintendent. Nothing happened here. I'm not charged. I'm not criminally charged. I just know when you're a teacher or you're a principal or you're a superintendent, if you're criminally charged with child abuse, you got to go until disposition. If you're exonerated, you come back. If you're not, it's bye-bye. You lose your teacher certificate. You lose your principal certificate. You lose your superintendent certificate. You're done. Never again. But to allow her to come in day after day after day after day with these criminal charges, it is an abomination. As sending districts, and we spend millions of dollars in the Atlantic City public school system, this is unacceptable that a superintendent can have child abuse, serious child abuse charges, and remain active in the position. The sending districts lost their representation because Atlantic City Public Schools has failed them. And so they're sending their children to Holy Spirit, to Ocean City. For those who don't know, there used to be a board member from Ventnor. There used to be a board member from Margate. There used to be a board member from Brigantine. I mean, 3 of them at one time. Then it was 2. Then it was 1 by combining 2 of the districts, which the legislation permitted to be done. And then there was none. They couldn't wait to take the sending district board. Now, they still pay millions of dollars. Ventnor and Margate and Brigantine, the fact that there's a superintendent criminally charged with multiple child abuse offenses. And, how could they do that? I know you cannot stay when you have those charges. Once you allow something like that, you have opened Pandora's box. Then what happens? I mean, right now there are other superintendents suspended as we speak that have been criminally charged with different stuff that didn't even involve a child abuse set of criminal charges. On April 15th, Marty and LaQuetta Small were criminally charged by the Atlantic County Prosecutor's Office with child endangerment and a whole lot more. Marty Small charged second-degree endangering the welfare of a child, third-degree aggravated assault, third-degree terroristic threats, disorderly person, simple assault. LaQuetta Small, superintendent of schools in Atlantic City, second-degree endangering the welfare of a child, 3 separate counts of disorderly person, simple assault. 15 days later, and LaQuetta Small is still the active superintendent.
When I was just board president, and when we discovered there was sexual abuse to our children in the school district, and it went unsaid. It was discovered by a board member, and then it was brought to my attention. We called a special emergency meeting to address it. Everybody thought I was this crazy white man from Down Beach trying to expose our administrators of some kind of employment issue. No, I was explaining that there was abuse going on in the district, and it was being covered up.
Well, now you tell me, though, if a teacher was charged with child abuse of their own child, and it didn't happen in the school. This child happens to be an Atlantic City High School student, by the way, the Smalls. So you're telling me a teacher that would be charged with the same exact thing, they would go to school today and they would be teaching?
We've had teachers that were charged outside the school district with totally different crimes that have anything to do with children, and were still suspended without pay, by the way. Since I've been on the board and we discovered child abuse, sexual abuse, child molestation, everybody's too scared to go against a small faction.
And they actually short-circuited your investigation. They didn't change one policy and procedure. What I really believe they need to do, she needs to be suspended immediately. The new superintendent needs to immediately get to work on redoing the child abuse policies. Every school in the district that has the policy that you notify the principal first, that all has to be changed because, as you know, state law requires that you notify the Department of Child Protective Services first. They're violating New Jersey state law. there's a lot of people. Corsi's wife, who's a good person, but friends with bad people in my estimation. The county superintendent is letting people down. The Board of Education is letting people down. The commissioner of education, the governor, I mean, they're all letting the people down.